All right, looks like we're live. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, September 20th. A lot of interesting stuff to go over right now. Let's see, give a couple minutes and see if anybody else comes in. Michael, what's up? Good morning. Your pal Al, what's up? Noar, 6'8 Spindrift, good morning. KLF. Webistics is with us early, and Josh Stewart, what's going on? Good morning. So like I said, a lot of interesting stuff. No, I said I forgot I was in here. That's funny. Um, so the thing that's sticking out to me the most this morning is the S&P 500. I always talk about how I use it to kind of gauge the overall markets when I'm trading, and sometimes look ahead and you could see some overall reactions and movements in the market. And right now, it started to go down a little bit in after hours on Friday, and it's continued to kind of topple this morning. It's as low as 434 right now. On the No Financial Limits show last Monday, I had talked about a key resistance level, or what I thought would serve as support. You know, the SPY's been kind of continuing to go up, come down, up, kind of pull back, and it's been doing this for months, right? But the key level for me that I was looking for it to hold if it continued to go down was right here at like this 436-ish, even in this 435 range. And I had said on there last Monday, it was on Monday evenings, the show I do with Ghost, that if we lost 435, I was going to look to be, going more cash and, maybe even looking to get into some SPY puts. $410 mark down here for December. And right now it looks like we're going to open up below that 435 mark. So I'm not saying that, the market's crashing or anything, but it's definitely going to be in a stronger pullback if it doesn't go up in gap fill today. So this is something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. Like I said, you could see throughout all these kind of pullbacks that it has, it always kind of comes down and gets right to the top of the last pullback, and then it goes back up. Here we came right back down, right at the top of this V, and then it comes back up. Right now, it was sitting right at the top of the V and continued to come down, and it's getting ready to break the support. And now, the one thing I will say is, squeeze plays aside, because I think like squeeze plays are a little bit different, right? You have a play with high short interest. Part of the theory there is if the market starts coming down, that the squeeze plays would actually go up. And the reason being is, when you have these big pullbacks in the market and you have people getting margin called or having to cut the fat in their positions, well, part of that is, selling off long positions, but the other part is buying back short positions, right? So, in essence, the opposite would happen to plays with high short interest. So I think we still might see some squeeze plays go up, but I'm just more concerned about like my long positions in some of my other stocks that are, just regular swing trades. I think some of those might get hit a little hard here if the market continues to go down below this 435 mark, and that's where it's headed right now. Again, right now it's opening at 434-ish. So just something I'm keeping my eye on. It could very easily just start bouncing back here in the pre-market too. So I'll just keep watching. Who else we got in here this morning? Big Nate, L Train, what's up? Present Minds, Dennis D, he said the market's taking us to the loo, telling us it's lunch. Louis, good morning. Pete, what's going on? Um, so yeah, I mean, little concerning there with the SPY falling as much as it is. All right, let's look at some of these other plays real quick because I got a lot of stuff I wanted to. I made some notes last week about stuff that we had talked about being on the watch list. I didn't play anything on Friday. I mean, there ended up being some plays that kind of popped out, but I didn't. I didn't get into any of them. Friday just kind of felt like a weird day. I didn't want to jump into anything new, and so I stayed out. But SDC was one from last week that has been running for a while now. It gapped up this morning up to 824 and came back down with a lot of the rest of the market, but it's on its way back up. And I think SDC, just by looking at the charts and everything else, right now, this kind of seems like my favorite. Just check out some of the stats on it. Max pain right now is at $6, so it's still well above max pain. Some of the other plays I kind of laid off last week because of max pain. I didn't want to, get stuck, hoping for a big run with something on options expiration Friday and watch it get pinned down. And we saw some of these plays get pinned ridiculously. So looking at SDC short interest, because this is a short squeeze play. It's on the FINTEL list. It's one of the more popular ones right now. It's coming up as one of the top ones on social sentiment today as well. 46% short interest. Actually 47 right now. Cost to borrow is still low, as well as utilization. 95 is not low, but it's not at 100. So still some shares to short in here, but a lot of social buzz. And this seems to be the one that's popping this morning. So, float on SDC, 100 million. If we look at the options chain on it, this is a weeklies. It's already going to open up with quite a bit of open interest, in the money. And it's got some room to run. Based off the option chain for this week, I could see this thing potentially just gamma squeezing up to the top to about 12, especially with the short interest and everything else in there. So this is probably the most intriguing play that I see right now. And there continues to be open interest throughout. And then if we look at the IV on some of this, it's not extremely high, so it still gives a decent entry point where like some of the other plays are, sitting there at a 300, 400% IV. I don't want to be buying calls at that point. Joseph Scott, what's up? Good morning. A West, John Head, Danny did it. Scotty, what's up? Scotty's in the house. Stock Hunter says SDC looks like a good one to jump into. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. And right here, we're looking at the daily chart on SDC. It has been on a little bit of a run, coming off $5 down here, a couple weeks back. There is also a gap to fill, which potentially could be something to look for, if all of a sudden it starts heading back towards 6. But it looks like it's heading up this morning, so it doesn't look like it's close enough to fill this gap today, at least. At least right now with what we're looking at in pre-market. If we come over here on the 5-minute chart, but that gap is still way down there. But that's something I'll be keeping in mind if I'm playing this throughout the week. See, L Train says I accidentally timed out present minds. Can another mod change that? Phone was in my pocket. Dude, I've done that before on other streams where it's like I just kind of like hit something with my thumb or mess something up, man. And that's the one thing about watching on your phone. But yeah, if there's a mod in here that could take care of that, that'd be awesome. Julio, what's up? JJ. Stock Hunter says opening a play on SDC. Yeah, right now SDC looks the strongest. Let's look at some of these other ones. I got a big list, so I'm going to try to rapid fire through these, and I may not get into full depth on all of them. TMC was a play last week I was looking at. Let's see here. Go to the 5-day. And it's kind of just been bouncing up and down, from like this 8. Came up and touched 15 twice now, once in pre-market. Trading back down there 10. That's another squeeze play. Pull that one up real quick. Not coming up. It says it's at 99 utilization. Cost to borrow is extremely low, and the short interest is less than 1%. Looks like the short interest dropped drastically since last week. It was at 300, and I don't know if this is an error or what's going on there, but that's kind of concerning. It says last week short interest was 361%. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at that wrong. It's a 300% change. But yeah, that I could have swore this was a short play last week, and it's not showing any short interest right now. So we'll see what's up there. That one's not coming up on the volume scanner either. OPAD was a big play last week. I know, if you were part of this run, I think we were talking about it here. We saw this thing kind of spike up a couple of times, a lot of opportunities to get in and out. And then it came down and filled that gap. That was my big worry on Friday, and why I didn't want to play this thing any longer was it looked like it was already trending down, and I figured it was probably going to come down and fill this gap. I know some people saw the gap fill and jumped in and made some money on the way up right here. It was also trading kind of near that max pain level too, which is another reason why I wanted to stay off that one last week. But those are ones that I'll continue to watch this week. IRNT was another one we played last week. Not really coming up on any scanners right now. There's just way too many plays out there, too many opportunities. Same thing with INDP was one that we were watching last week. Let me just see. BBIG is one that I'm going to continue to look at. I stayed off it last week near the end because it was just trading too close to max pain. And, for me to kind of stay in it through the week as a play. And it did kind of trade sideways, as we could see there. Once it kind of came down, it just traded sideways for the rest of the week. But I'm going to be looking at BBIG as another play to potentially get into. The short interest is at 21. Utilization's kind of dropping down, but cost to borrow is still high. And so that's one that I'm going to keep my eye on this week. I'm not necessarily jumping in it right now. The other ones that we were looking at before we get to the scanner, ATER was one we had looked at a couple times last week. Here's the daily chart on that one. Not a lot of movement in pre-market right now. It looks like it was kind of starting to run at the end of last week, which is why I kind of put it back on my list. Again, I didn't play anything on Friday, but I did see this one pop up because I had it on my watch list on Friday. And it fell down again this morning. Right now, SDC is just seeming like the strongest in terms of the plays that we've been in or looking at. But ATER, 63% short interest. Cost to borrows at 191. Utilization 99%. I want to see what the float size on this is. 24 million float. That one looks pretty interesting too. I know it's at the top of some of the other lists, short squeeze lists. Max pain on the week for ATER is $10. It's looking to open up above there right now. And I'm going to check out the option chain real quick. This is an extremely low float stock with a lot of concentration in the chain because it only has monthlies. And it looks like this $10 strike is looking pretty good if it continues to go up. What I don't like here, and this I've seen this happen before, is these big gaps between 10 and 1250, 1250 and 15, because these are some nice strikes that'll provide firepower throughout for like a gamma squeeze potential. But the problem is there's so much room there. You need a 50% increase to get the next two strikes in the money. You know, trading at 10 right now to jump up 50% without the options chain sitting there to provide that firepower. I'm not saying it can't happen, but going to be a lot harder there. But just based off the short interest and everything, I'm going to continue to watch this one if volume picks up, because there's still a lot of room to run before getting to that 1250 strike. You know, and if, as you can see, even that's where they let it run last week and then they hammered it back down. So I'm going to keep this on the watch list. I just don't know what will be. I mean, it already hit some big moves last week, or looks like this was the previous Friday and Monday, but still high short interest there. And still a lot of open interest on the option chain. So that's one I'm going to definitely keep on the watch list too. So right now, those are going to be the two that I'm looking at. The only other ones that we had talked about last week was GRE, which looks like it's just, this thing just got beat to shit once they did that merge and it came in at $200. It's down at 35 now. But the short interest is continuing to build up in that play. And so that's one I'm just going to be keeping an eye on, because I think when it does finally get to running, this could be a good long-term one, but nothing I'm looking to get into right away. Lptx was another one that came up on Thursday, and I've been keeping an eye on because I was kind of intrigued by this $3.15 mark. I mean, we could scroll back. Let me go back here on the daily. We saw this 315 being a huge level of resistance over the last couple of years, and we've seen the stock kind of bounce off that a couple times, and it did hit that in pre-market 3 days ago. So if all of a sudden this stock starts running, and we could see a pop past this 315, I'm thinking there's a lot of upside in here, especially for another play with high short interest. So Lptx is going to just kind of be on my watch list moving forward until it starts heading in the wrong direction. I'm not looking to trade it or anything right now. I'm just going to be watching, see if volume increases or anything like that. All right, so let's see here. It says I look tired. Were you up late looking for a Wayne's World Pacer in the classifieds? Oh man. Christina Ridge is back. She was working. Let's see. Kamal says market crash is happening. Yeah, I talked about that as soon as I started the show. I think I had said on here, I'll pull this up real quick. I had said on the show last week on the show I did with Ghost, the No Financial Limits, which, by the way, we're doing another one today. So it's every Monday night at 4. We talk half markets, half NFL. And I had said previously that, if we lost 435 support on the SPY, I was going to look to kind of go cash and, in most of my like long-term swing trades and probably buy some SPY puts. And yeah, we're below 435. So this is kind of that level where I thought that, we kind of lost support. And I do think that, this has the potential to, maybe some sort of a 10% pullback, which to me would get us down to like 410, coming off a high of 450. I know that math isn't exact, but that's what I'm going to be looking for. So for me, I may end up going with some SPY puts right now. But I'm not going to grab them right at the open, because anytime you see some sort of gap down like this, you're going to see a gap up, usually like a fill, and that's what I'll be looking to play. There's a lot of room here all the way up to 442. But if all of a sudden I could see the market start going up today, which I'm fully expecting some sort of pullback, that's when I'll start to get some of my other plays out cash. Like my DraftKings and some of these other ones, the ones that aren't squeeze plays. Zoom's another one that I've been on for a couple weeks now, so I'll look to kind of exit some of these other ones, and then also try to buy some SPY puts. I was looking at the 410s for December right now. But we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, this thing could just gap up, it's gapping down right now. It could gap fill up and keep ripping. That's what we've seen in the past. But it's definitely losing a little bit more than it normally does. Pete says, ooh, I almost banned you, Pete. Sorry. There's been lots of chatter on Reddit about DSR. Do you think it would make any real difference in the amount of shorted stock for CLOV? My feeling is that it would require a huge amount. DSR. I don't know anything about DSR. Are you talking about, what's DSR? I'm tired right now. Tony says reversal starting for CLOV. What do you think? Right now we're going down, man. But the overall market is too. Like most stocks you look at right now are going to be kind of taking a little bit of a tumble right now. But we have high short interest in CLOV. So like I had said earlier, I think as it continues to kind of fall down, and people start closing out positions. Closing out a short position means buying it back. So I think we'll start to see some sort of reversal. I mean, $8 has been our support too, and that's the thing about like CLOV being so undervalued, is we've continued to see buyers come in and support this stock in this range that it's in right now. And I think that that's not going to change, because nothing's changed fundamentally about the company. So when there is a market-wide sell-off, usually people are going to move their money into cash or move them into undervalued plays. And that's where I think you're going to see bigger institutions moving into, or plays like CLOV, where we've been at the bottom. You know what I mean? So at least you can add your money in somewhere like this where you're almost guaranteed. Because the other thing too is, CLOV is recession proof. Okay, so even if we went into a market sell off and some sort of a little bit of a recession or whatever, the healthcare industry isn't going anywhere. So I think that we may see some turbulence and a little bit more volatility if this ends up being like kind of a market-wide deal. But I think CLOV will be just fine. I really do. We might see some of these other big stocks get really ruined off of it. Like even right now, I'm seeing GameStop and AMC kind of gapping down too. Looks like almost everything. SDC still kind of the play, I think, this morning. Kamal says, any idea what the next support is? So what I was looking at on the SPY was, and this is just kind of like my initial thoughts was here, just because that's where it found support. You could see it kind of touched right in this area a couple times. This is where I thought we would find some support. If we had to go back even further now, I would say I would keep looking to find where it found support on all these previous drops, you know, is where I would look to. It's hard to find like major support on, like, let's say something like the SPY, because it's never been this high, right? So these are all, you can't go back and find other days or other areas. So that's why, anywhere where it came down and bounced off of is where I would think you'd find support. This level right here, this 436, 435, you could see that it kind of found this support line 3 times now. And so losing that was kind of a strong one. If we go back and try to find like any other major areas of support, I don't even know that we can find this and draw the same lines or anything there. Maybe around 423. But really, I'm thinking 410s. I really do. Like if the SPY starts completely coming down, I'm looking at 415, 410, and probably by December. At least that's where. And again, when I buy like puts or calls, I'm not looking to hold. So if all of a sudden, I grabbed them and then the SPY came down to 425, I'm out. I'm trying to get out and keep moving. Low Work says, I'm not scared. Let's go. AFL says, bye, bye, bye. Yeah, the Evergrande thing in Hong Kong, I think is going to have some market wide effect. And you know what? Huge discussion on that on Friday. I would say more, almost the entire discussion for the first half of Degenerate's Twitter Spaces kind of really covered this. And I know McWage was on there and a couple other people that were really giving some good insight into how that could affect the global economy and directly affect the U.S. and everything else, and just the banks that are tied into it. And if you haven't checked it out at all, even if you don't have a Twitter, it's worth signing up for a free Twitter account just so you can get on there and check those things out. So every day at market close, Degenerate, he goes on and does a Twitter space, which is kind of like a voice call, and people go on there and can talk about the overall markets, different plays that are upcoming. But like I said, Friday was really educational for me too. We were talking a lot about this Evergrande thing. So definitely worth checking out. And if you go down to the description in this video, I actually put a link to his Twitter account in there today, specifically for that reason, so that people can go in there and check him out. Okay, so you just got to be following him, and then when he goes live with the Twitter Spaces, it'll pop up. But it's every day right around market close. Think about maybe 15 minutes after close is when he gets going. But definitely worth checking out if you got the free time. Sometimes I just throw my headphones on and listen. Actually, most of the time that's what I do, because I'm busy with other stuff and I can't get on and talk. But definitely worth looking into. David, what's up? Good morning. Hey, so we talked a little bit about the SPY. I think we reviewed some of the older plays from last week. Just based off those, the three that I'm going to keep watching right now is SDC, ATER, and Lptx. But let's look at the scanner real quick and see. Okay, Ltrend says space is going to be right at the bell today. Yeah. So before we even get to the scanner, we got some different people in here right now and everything. So Degenerate Spaces, right at the bell. And then tonight, no financial limits. It's on this channel at 4 o'clock Pacific. That's 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll also be discussing the markets, and then talking a little football leading up to the Monday Night Football game. So definitely a lot of fun. That's Ghost and myself. And there's a link down below to Ghost's YouTube channel if you want to go give him a follow and support him. But on top of that, we had talked about this market crash last week on there, or potential for the market to pull back. I don't want to call it a crash, but the potential for the market to pull back. And I had talked a little bit about it last week on there, and just how this is something that I was expecting to kind of come our way. And I kind of called out that 435 level last week on there. Something that I'm potentially looking to, again, go all cash and everything. And we're definitely trading below there. I don't want to say all cash because I'm not doing anything with my CLOV, or even my GameStop for that matter. But I'm going to start trimming the fat on a lot of stuff today. And getting some other like long-term plays out of the market. Just until I see things start popping back a little bit. But I'm still going to be, playing some of these other ones. I think SDC has some potential to run. Might even continue to buy up this CLOV $8 at the $8 mark and look for this as a reason to, just kind of load more in there. All right, so let's look at the scanner we got here. So UV, what just happened? Oh, there we go. So right now on the scanner, APRE, low float stock, 19 million. Looks like it started making a run. Was trading in this $4 range. It started making a run on Friday, and no real news or anything on that one. But it is moving again. Let me check the is there options on that? APRE. There is. IV isn't ridiculously high. Not a lot going on there right now. It's looking to open up at 470. The other one, that's SDC, we talked about already this morning. That's like probably my biggest play that I'm looking into right now. UVXI. Was trading at 23, just popped up to 26. Starting to get some volume coming in there too. That's getting the most volume out of everything right now. And I don't know why my Schwab news ticker isn't giving me any information on that one. UVXY. ETF share splits. Oh, this is an ETF. I'll probably stay off this one. I usually don't like to trade ETFs, so we'll stay away from that one. Let me see if I can get some news on APRE real quick. It's a biotech stock. Last week to present data from phase 1 or 2 trial advanced solid tumors at Congress. Yeah, it's moving right now, but let's see what else we got. CRVS. Looks like it's gapping down, but picking up in volume right now. And that thing's been on a huge tear. Wow. Up over 100%, hit over 200% this morning. Let me see here. I'm just gonna look at some other scanners real quick. We got so CRVS is one that looks like, I'm looking at L Train scanner right now. Popped up on his as well, along with the SDC. Um, I could see this one, just being with the float size and everything. Um, Absolutely nothing going on right here on the option chain either. It looks like it's already kind of blown it out, so we're not going to see much coming in there, unless it can get above 750. Check out one more AVEO. I don't like the choppiness there. CRVS looks pretty decent. AVEO is also coming in here on volume increase. I just don't like it. If I had to pick two that I'm going to watch to trade today, I kind of like APRE, and I'll just add those to the APRE and CRVS. So that gives us five that I'm going to be keeping an eye on today to kind of jump into. SDC, I think, is the big one that has the most potential this morning. ATER is the other one that I'm going to be looking into, potentially jump into as a squeeze play. Lptx, I'm really just keeping on my long-term watch list. Not a lot going on this morning, but I think if all of a sudden it starts getting some legs, I want to see it break through 315. And that's what I'm going to jump on. And that may not happen for a long time. But APRE started running on Friday and kind of pulled back this morning with everything else, but it's got some volume behind it. That's one that I'll be looking at to maybe jump in and out of today if I could find some day trade opportunities. And CRVS, if we can get some sort of gap up there, things get interesting around 750. So if we look at the option chain here, this is an extremely low float stock, and at 750, there's 4,500 calls here. It looks like they just extended this to 10 too on the option chain. So that would be pretty interesting if it reached 750 and cracked above there. So CRVS is definitely one that I'll be taking some interest in this morning too. That's probably it. I'm just going to be looking at those five. Evergrande at all-time lows, no bueno. Yeah, I think I think we're starting to see the effect of that, kind of like we were talking about on your spaces on Friday, man. Let's see here. Let's see. David Johnson says market correction, stack cash. Yeah, I'm really gonna be looking today. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to my watch list. Yeah, I know I've been talking about it, but the SPY. I mean, I'm gonna be keeping a big eye on that today and looking for a good entry point. I honestly want to take some puts. Not that I want the market to crash, but I want to grab some puts. Probably, and I've been eyeballing for about a week now, the 410 strike. Um, so probably for like December, and just try to make some money on the way down if it's time. But I think that whole Evergrande deal and a lot of the other stuff that's been building in the markets right now, and just how crazy everything's been. The Fed printing so much money. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try to prop it up, but you know, I just it might be time for a little bit of a correction. Well, I know it's time, but it might actually be time for it to happen. So just looking at, we kind of went through the watch list, went through last week's plays, talked about some other stuff. Let's take a look at CLOV, see what's going on right now. Nothing's immune to this pullback in the market right now, and CLOV is definitely one of them. Falling down below 8, but we've always found this support right here. I honestly think we'll kind of see some sort of gap up. I mean, we've been in this oversold, not gap up, but gap fill back to the upside, maybe to about, get back to that 831 today, regardless of what happens in the market, because we're already at the bottom. Um, that's what I think. I mean, we found support here at $8 for so long that I don't see this thing going down to 7 or 6 or anywhere like that. It's already grossly undervalued. I mean, this is a play that has, been well worth $20. I'll just throw out a number, but somewhere in that $20 range should have been trading there months ago, and it's just been hammered down to shit. And you've seen the institutions buying. Every time we've got down here in the $8 range, you see more and more institutions coming in saying, fine, you guys want to sell us the stock, we'll take it at 8. We'll take it at 8. And we'll continue to see that, and it's going to continue to provide support. That's my belief, at least. Just looking at chart exchange real quick on CLOV. One of the things that we've been seeing is this dark pool activity. Not a lot on Friday, but going back, 49%, 50%, 41, 45. We had a stretch of days of 50% in the dark pool, but really that means all these buys that are coming in, are getting routed into the dark pool, and they're not having any effect on the price action. So that's not sustainable. There has to be buyers or sellers in the dark pool for that to continue to go on. Otherwise, we're going to see massive FTDs, and at some point, those are going to have to be covered. So, I think, again, this can't go on forever. We've been seeing some massive prints. I know Al Trades has talked about on his videos a lot of these prints that have been coming in after the bell every day last week. For basically millions, and it's not sustainable for that thing for them to continue routing those big prints into the dark pool. And the reason is, again, if there's not an actual seller in the dark pool ready to give up those shares, then essentially what's taking place is the market maker is creating a naked short position, right? And so at some point, those shares have to be delivered. They have to be delivered to the clearinghouse. And the reason that they'll take on those naked short positions is, essentially if they give you this massive print at 830, well, yeah, now they can come in and accumulate for lower. But when you're talking about millions upon millions of shares, at some point the buying pressure is going to become too much, and that's when they lose control of the stock. So I think it's let's see here. Said people got mad at me for calling out the mods in their front man. Now everyone sees it. Oh, was that part of the AM? Is that something that happened at the AMA or what? I'm just trying to catching up on the chat. I just seen you said that, but I didn't know if you were talking about the. I know someone else said something about the AMA too. I didn't catch it. I had a busy weekend. Let me see here. All right. Jawad saying check out OSCR. Doesn't look like it's getting a ton of volume right now. Nice range though, 16 to 19. Check out the daily chart. Oh, not weekly. What's going on there? Was trading as low as 12 back in August. Has some highs of 37. I like that. Looks like it popped up here and it's kind of trading sideways for a couple of days. What's going on with that one? Is that doesn't look like a squeeze play or anything else. I don't know what's going on with that. Is there some news behind it? OSCR Health co-founder reported a purchase of 839 shares at $18. Okay. That was last week. Um, all right. So yeah, I didn't catch too much stuff this weekend. I was busy. We had a football game on Friday. Um, we won. We played out in Santa Clara against Wilcox. Kind of a good game. And then Saturday was my son's birthday, so I got up early, started cleaning the backyard, barbecued. All morning. Had kind of a full packed house until about 10 o'clock, and then Sunday morning up bright and early, not to watch football, but to go to down to, to the fields for flag football. I got there at 8:30 in the morning. We had my older son's team practice at 9, um, and then the game was at 10. So then that got done at 11, and then at 11:15, my younger son practiced until 12:15, and then his game went till about 1:30. By the time I loaded everything up, packed up the truck, got home, I think I got back home around 2:30. So I was gone all day yesterday, getting beat up by the sun and missing football. All right, there we go. DeGen's always got the information. OSCR is the company that Credit Suisse gave a higher price target than CLOV. We've got better fundamentals and revenue, but he threw up a higher price target on OSCR. I spoke to him and he referenced the Hindenburg report. Okay. Okay. Stock Hunter says plug is looking like a play. Let me pull that one up. And Danny says happy birthday to your son. Yeah, he had a hell of a time because even a buddy of mine gave me some Giants tickets. And I had my game on Friday night, but so my wife and then my older son's the ball boy for our high school team. So, but on Friday night, my wife took the younger one for his birthday because his actual birthday was Friday. Took him to the Giants game, um, and yeah, it's so he was busy all week too. So the Jen saying check out the borrow rate on IRNT. Let's see if I can pull that up. Oh wow. Okay. So the estimated short interest isn't too high, coming in at 16%, but wow, cost to borrow right now 708 at 19,000. I'm sorry, I'm tired. 719%. Um, but that's insane. We looked at IRNT right when we started the show this morning. Let me check that out. I mean, that thing got up to 60. This was what, Wednesday? And then Thursday's pre-market. And I know I had traded this on Thursday right in here. And, had some success in there. But this thing's ready to pop again. What kind of volume we seeing right now, though? Let me get this CLOV back up, too. There we go. Not looking bad. I want to check out the options chain on that. I remember last week when the IV got so high that it was just ridiculous. Yeah, it's still 275% IV. This is probably one that I would, because of that, rather get into shares on. Just not worth overpaying that much. But I don't know. I'll definitely be watching it. I mean, we know it's got some potential to run, but if we come back and look at this on a daily chart, it already hit a huge. Look at this thing. I mean, it's just continuing to climb. You know, the only thing that I would say, I don't know if it I don't know. I mean, the only thing that the RSI was over real hot, running hot for a while. It's cooling down right now, but the only thing that kind of scares me is that with that short interest there's still 10% short interest in there. And the float from what I remember on this stock was relatively small, 57 million. I mean, there could be room for another pop. 10%, 15% short interest is still a lot with the cost to borrow that high to, get some shares moving in the other direction, get some buying pressure. But I don't know. It just after coming off such a huge run, who knows what we're looking at there. I'll definitely be watching it though, because we know it's got room to run to 60. I think the highest it ever hit in actual market hours was 47. That was back on Thursday when we were trading that thing. But that cost to borrow is unreal. Genetic Nate, what's up? Good morning. SDC's trading right around 7 right now. I see Noah's talking about that. Turts McGurts, what's up? Let's see here. Just catching up with you guys right now. JG says, what are we looking at for CLOV? For me, this is becoming more and more of a value play. It really is, because, and I know we've talked about it so many times, and so everybody's kind of, been saying it, but it's like this stock was worth, should have been trading in the 20s back in May, when the first kind of run happened to 28, and then it got hammered back down with all this market manipulation and short selling and everything else that we've been talking about forever. And now nothing but good news has happened since then. Nothing but good news. I mean, the companies just continue to release positive press. We've seen them, 140% increase in revenue, double, lives under management. And this is all old news, but this is all going back to, May. And they've continued to show that this is a tech company and that their focus is on tech. They hired people from Palantir, Uber, that are all about like growth, and not just growth but hyper growth. And they've and from technology side, they had the patents recently. I mean, there's just been nothing but positive news for this stock, and it's continued to be pinned down. And so for me, again, this just becomes so much of a value play where it's like I'm just going to continue to kind of move money into it and wait. And, at some point, it's going to start trading at its actual value, which right now, I would say is probably 3 times what it's at. But the longer that it takes to get there, and the company, shit, we're gonna be right around the corner from another earnings call, and what's gonna happen when all of a sudden they keep reporting, new lives under management and further guidance and everything else, and it's just, we're getting a good opportunity here to just buy into a really, really great company that has the potential to be a disruptor with their tech side, but also become profitable on the insurance side. And so, um, yeah, I would say all I'm looking at for CLOV right now is just to keep loading the boat, just keep buying more shares. And this is really going to be one of those plays that I think, you look back on a year from now, 2 years from now, and you're like, man, I can't believe that stock was ever even trading at $8. Um, so that's my play right now. And then again, at any point, now I don't want to downplay everything else going along with it, but at any point now, between now and who knows, um, we could still absolutely see, some sort of squeeze, whether it be a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze. Like, option chain right now, this is a month, based off Friday's numbers, not looking insane at by any means, especially compared to the float size, but it's starting to build up, and we've been seeing that week after week, where this option chain continues to load up, and November was a big number. Looks like it got a lot traded in there, but it's it definitely has the potential to pop at any day. Especially with like the amount of buy orders that have been continuously routed through the dark pool. At some point, those become an FTD, failure to deliver, and at some point that needs to be covered. And then when those get covered in the open market, that's when you see those kind of, high volume explosive days. And I think we have a lot of those ahead of us because we've been seeing so much routing to the dark pool. So, um, you know, I hope that answers your question. Danny says, "What's the average CLOV share position in this community?" I honestly, I don't know. I know that there's people who've had, like, I remember early on before the June run up, just with this when the subreddit was like, under 5,000. There was people that were, owned 10,000 shares, 5,000 shares that were, that just people I was talking to on the subreddit, and talking to, and then there's other people that own a couple hundred, so I think it could be all over the board. um Chef Daddy Trader, what's up? Good morning. um DJ Tardis, what's going on? He said not a lot of watches this morning. Coach is the GOAT for streaming on a sell-off day. Man, I don't care what's going on in the market. I'll figure something out. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just having fun doing this because I would have been up watching anyway. So, um, but there's always opportunities to make money. Whether it be on the way up or the way down. And I honestly think we might see some sort of pullback, pull up this morning, I guess I should say. Like, with the SPY coming down that hard, it's going to gap down pretty big there. And, it's almost a 2% gap down. We're probably going to see it rally back up, and there'll be some stocks that go up with it. I also think, I'm still liking this SDC play. Yeah, it came down off this 824 as the market was too, but this is still a gap up from yesterday. So, let's see. Oh yeah, so the gens. I know I announced it earlier. earlier on, but down below in the description of this video is a link to buy the effing dip to Degenerate to his Twitter. Okay, so make sure you go follow him on Twitter. And he does do Twitter Spaces every day at market close. Today should be an interesting one. Friday was really interesting. I mean, a lot of the talk on Friday had to do with that Evergrande thing and how it could potentially affect our markets, and I think we're seeing a lot of that right now. A lot of amazing people talking on there, and intelligent people, and everybody, kind of has their own thing that they contribute to it, but I'm really digging it. I just wish I had more time to sit there and listen. While we're talking right now, too, CLOV hit a bottom of 790 and starting to pop back up. And it's kind of what I was talking about is whenever we get down here and anywhere in this range, we've seen big buys coming in, and that's what I think is going to kind of set us apart right now, too. If all of a sudden the market does have a huge pullback, I don't think we're going to see a huge pullback in CLOV because we're already pulled back. We're already there. There's only so much more you can compress it. Christina says, look at surf. Michelle, what's up? Good morning. Surf. Let's take a look at surf. I don't know anything about that one. Okay. Got some gaps here, so it looks like the volume started picking up at the end of the day Friday. Got up to 747. Let's look on here real quick. I just want to see what the 41 million float. Not a lot of volume right now this morning, but pull this back over. Healthcare. Not a lot of news on it either. I don't see any news. Usually, even if we look back to last week just to see why this happened, but looks like the last big, they had earnings back in August 5th. August 20th, talked a little bit about ARK Invest purchasing some of it. Looks like maybe it bottomed out around 495. Volume of 5 million on Friday compared to other days of 250,000, 500,000. So we're definitely seeing some volume pick up there, but is it going to be sustainable? Like, is it still coming in today? It looks like this morning there's only 70,000 volume. I don't know. I don't know enough about this one to really try to jump in or anything like that, especially with no volume behind it. Yeah, let's see here. VN, good morning. Damn, Christina's been working her ass off. 55 hours, 4 night shifts, and still recovering. Man. Crypto Cello's lucky, about to take the kids to Disney World this morning. I've still never been, but I've been to Disneyland a ton of times. One day I'll get out there. Says bullish as ever. If for some reason Bitcoin is back over 50K by Spaces, I'll be white girl wasted on some champagne. That's hella funny. I'll be listening from my classroom. Joseph Scott, what's up? Webistics is asking, is CLOV's pre-market high, volume higher than normal? We're at about 800 or 700,000 right now. I mean, that's high for a regular day, but that's kind of what we've been seeing since the volume picked up a couple days ago, like, or I guess I should say a couple weeks ago. Like when we were, let me just zoom in here. You know, when we saw like this 175 million day, 78 million day, even this 50 million day, I'd say we were at about 1 or 2 million in pre-market, which we're kind of on pace to maybe hit that. But back on these like kind of regular days of 12 million, 19 million, 17 million volume, we typically saw, from what I can recall, maybe 300,000 to 500,000 in pre-market volume. So we're definitely higher than that. So this does have the makings of maybe potentially being a high volume day. Maybe even something like we saw here. But yeah, I would say it's a little bit higher than normal. Stars. Every morning I block my calendar at work and say I'm in a meeting. They don't need to know it's Coach's CLOV meeting. Clovis Frank says, "Do you think SDC is a short squeeze potential?" Yeah, that's So anyone who's joining us right now, the kind of my watch list for the day, the stocks that I'm going to be looking to get into, potentially. SDC is the big one that I really think maybe has some potential to be a runner today. ATER is another one that I'm looking at. Not a lot of volume right now, but I think it's got some room to run. That one's got a ton of short interest in it. And then we had talked about APRE. It's already kind of spiked up this morning and came down. Now these are all plays again that I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna just buy and hold or anything like that. These are plays I'm looking at to kind of day trade, jump in and out of, just because they've kind of got like an increase in volume this morning. So I want to definitely mention that. Like what I've been scanning for are plays that you can maybe jump into and catch a piece of this action as a stock's moving 5% or something like that, and get in and out of in a matter of minutes. But right now, if I had to pick, SDC's kind of the one that I'm looking to potentially jump into on a squeeze today, to just get some action. And I mean, you could see this movement this morning. This thing jumped from $7 up to 8.24. It's back down to 7 now. A lot of volume coming in on this one, and I think this is probably going to be the exciting one today. The only thing that I want to be a little bit cautious about is this gap fill. It closed at 670, and then we also have, I'll just go ahead and zoom out. So right now we're going to be opening somewhere up here, and so you might see a gap fill down to 670 before we make our run today. But you also have the significant gap down to 6. The reason I bring that up is because the only thing is it's trending in the other direction. But like with OPAD, and I'll bring that up again. I don't even know why I have that up here still. I'm going to go ahead and put CVRS over here. So with OPAD, we had talked about this on Friday. So Thursday, we hopefully if anybody got a piece of this action when we were talking about it in pre-market, that ended up being kind of a big runner. And then Thursday morning or Friday morning, it was kind of on its way back down in pre-market, like trading over here. And I had pointed out this gap fill, and that the stock's already heading in the wrong direction. This thing could go all the way down to 12 potentially, and sure as shit it did. So And that's all. That's the only reason I bring that up is 9 times out of 10 you'll see gaps get filled, and there are some gaps here in this chart. Doesn't mean it's going to happen today. I mean, we're gapping up again for a second day in a row, and it's got a lot of volume behind it. I could see this thing running, so I think SDC is a potential runner for today. Faith, what's up? Good morning. Kenneth says it's a buy the F and dip type of morning. Thomas O'Connell says came here to say hi. What's up? Or say ah. Said it already filled. Did I miss something? I'm tired this morning. No, I just saw you said it already filled. Which one? Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're talking about there. There we go. All right. We still got like 18 minutes before the market open. Oh no, I just being optimistic. Yeah. No, that's the play that I'm probably gonna look to jump on this morning is SDC. That's the one that I'm liking. So real quick, as we're getting into market open here, about 18 minutes. I do want to mention again. So myself and Ghost, week 2 of No Financial Limits is tonight. We've been having a lot of fun on there. And last I checked, I was doing pretty good yesterday on my NFL picks. I think I was like 5-1. I could be wrong. I had a rough day. Even when I got home from coaching flag football today, I turned on the games and I was just kind of like dozing off on the couch. So didn't really catch everything. I got to watch some highlights and stuff today. I did watch that Ravens game last night though. That was insane. And I'm really digging Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I know Ghost, if you're listening right now, isn't going to be too happy about that because his Steelers got to play them this year, twice every year, and battle for the division. And I really think the Ravens are going to pull that one off. But anyways, if you guys want to come check us out, we talk stocks, we talk about the markets, we talk about football, we make some gambling picks. Ghost kicked ass last Monday night. Said the money line the Raiders. Can't wait to hear his take tonight at the Packers and the Lions. So Chef Daddy says I'm humble bragging. Yeah, but we're gonna get after it again every Monday night, 4:00 on the West Coast, 7:00 on the East Coast. It's a lot of fun. And again, we'll talk about the markets too, talk about some of our plays that we're in, maybe potential new plays. And it's so make sure you go down and subscribe to Ghost, but it will be on this channel tonight. So if you want to get a chance to check it out, should be a lot of fun. Also, while we're talking football, I know I survived the survivor pool, and if we take a look, I'm gonna make sure there's nobody's information on here, but there we go. So we'll just take a look at this week for the pool for those of you guys that are in there. I think we have 39 people. One person got eliminated this week, meaning that they've lost twice. And they're out. So 6 people got eliminated in total this week, but 5 of them are getting mulligans. So everyone gets to lose twice. And so 6 people lost this week, and that actually eliminated one person out of the pool. Looks like most people took Cleveland. That's also who I took too, along with the Patriots. the Seahawks, Saints, and Jets, or it looks like Seahawks and Saints were the two that, two people there, two people here, that ended up losing on that one. But been having fun with this. We're about to start week 3 and keep getting everybody's picks in. Dan said my Patriots pick came through for me. Yeah. I'm not gonna. Big Nate's talking trash right now. Alfredo says, "Coach and Ghost, no financial limits. Great show." Scotty's still alive. Nah, it wasn't. Was it Ghost? I don't think Ghost. I know he used a mulligan last week, but I thought he said he took the Browns this week. I forget who he said it on Friday what team he was taking. Star said, "Whoever picked the Jets to win needs to be banned." Yeah, CLOV volume right now is at 855,000. Let me see here. Oh, did he take the Saints? Oh, Ghost might be out. Well, Ghost might come. I'm gonna let him come on there and defend himself in a second. I know he's probably listening. So Ghost, if we had talked this morning, he might come on for a little bit, just right before we sign off. And again, come check us out this afternoon. Also, Degenerates Twitter Spaces every day. Let's see. CLOV borrowing, edging up again. I'm just trying to read up with you guys in the chat. Spies back to 435. Yeah. So it may be opening up above that level. And I think if it can stay above 435, 436, you know, things are looking decent. That's going to be a level of support. But if it starts breaking below there and closing below there, I think that's when all of a sudden we're going to see see kind of a bigger correction. Benzinga gave CLOV. I think I saw that last week on Thursday or Friday. I think it might have been Thursday. And those are kind of like blogs, right? If it's the same thing, you'll see. Anybody can go on there and write a review, and I mean, yeah, it was positive news. But I don't know that it was necessarily anything that we want to see, like the real analysts, the banks come in and start giving us some good price targets. But it's still good news. I mean, people read it and it's spreading the word. So I'm all down for it. Gunslinger, what's up? Good morning. Michael says he did take the Saints. All right. So I don't know if I could issue him a third mulligan. Let me see here. I'm going to ask him right now. All right, let's see. I see Ben's asking about trading ticks. Let me try to pull that up for you real quick. Again, these are plays that they were saying to get into on Friday, so keep that in mind. But this is the swing AI on Friday. Ben, I know you wanted to see that last time. But they're bullish on Wish, really. Okay. HGN, X, FCX, CLF. I know someone just said their CLF was getting killed right now. But again, these could, these are just plays from Friday that they were saying we're looking bullish and getting bullish flow. But if we look at, where is it at? And again, this is Friday. Plays that it was alerting on. Buy a call on NEM. Man, there's so much to this. Then this has been getting, like, even their social sentiment now. They did an overall market watch. They did a stock search. You could see what's trending on Investor Hub. They even added in, like, I know I don't talk about trading ticks enough considering how much, but I've been so busy that I can't even go through all these tools and figure out what's what and how to use them all. But you definitely you have top Twitter activity now, highest Twitter spikes. They added in some sector analytics to see, like, what's been getting the most talked about. They even have, like, the stock gurus from Twitter, and they'll show you, like, what the top trending tweets are based on how many followers the person has that's tweeting about it. So they've added in a lot more stuff on their social sentiment side. And they continue to keep building out the rest of this stuff. It's just an absolute beast. On Friday, I was actually just, like, playing around because usually I haven't been, like, available to, sit there and trade. And since I wasn't trading anything on Friday and I was kind of, like, sitting back, I went through and was just checking out, like, they have the day trade indicator where they kind of pull up and they show you, like, plays that they think you should get into, like, now. And it actually looked pretty decent. Like, it was calling out some decent plays. And it doesn't necessarily alert you on entry and exit points, but what it does is it'll tell you, like, this play is bullish right now. And then, really, if you're seeing downward price action, you don't want to get in. But then when you see, like, a bullish crossover, that's kind of like your entry point, and that's when you want to get in. And I was just kind of, paper trading in my mind and just watching through and seeing their alerts and their calls, and pretty cool scanners that they have on there, even with their swing trades and stuff. So I'm digging it. I just need to clear my plate and have some time to look into some more stuff. Okay, Chef Daddy, I see that. So it's not the same one from Thursday. Thomas, everyone who's been saying massive correction for the last 10 years is going to be saying, I told you so. No shit. I feel like that's how it always works, right? It's like you have people that are constantly, bears that are constantly saying, oh, the top is in, and they've been calling it since the SPY was trading at 350 and lower. But now they're going to be the big geniuses coming out of this. TMC's popping right now. That was one of the other ones that we were looking at. TMC starting to get a little bit of some movement too. Wonder where that's looking at in terms of the volume. So if we look at our volume scanner right now, SDC still on there. I still don't see TMC coming in, but BNGO again. So you guys know BNGO, if you've been with me for a while, is one of my long-term plays that I'm in. And this is the second day in a row that it's popped up on my volume scanner. Not a ton of price movement. I mean, it's been trading down here for a long time, but one to keep an eye on. It's been trading sideways for a very long time, since hitting this high back in February of about $16. And I'm just waiting for it to make its next run, but it's popping up on the volume scanner again. And You know, that could be pretty interesting at some point because when BNGO runs, it runs. I mean, it absolutely, this thing will, you could see here what it did. This went from a penny stock to 15 bucks in a matter of 2 months. You know, and what we've been seeing since then is just this kind of drawn out consolidation. Um, but that's already on my watch list just because I'm holding. So um, let's see here. Pull that back up on a 5 minute. Michael's tied for first in the survivor pool. Me too. 2-0. Big Nate says, "Did you look at SRAD?" I did not. Not a lot volume wise. It's only been on the market for 4 days. Oh, that was the one that you texted me about. Yeah. Sorry, man. I've been so damn busy. I didn't even do, and I see Dan's asking about the chalk talks. I didn't even put out a weekly update video this weekend. Nothing. Um, I just like I said, I got too much on my plate right now. But as I find time, you know, I got a list of stuff I got to do. Ghost is in the house. What's up, Ghost? Let's see here. Sir Lucky Charms. That's right. That's right. That's the one you had put on a. I remember reading a little bit about it. I got so damn busy I didn't get a chance to really look into it. But this is a sports group backed by Cuban and Mark Cuban and Michael Jordan. We'll write that one down again. Risky Seeds, what's up? All right, so just looking around, I mean, one, it looks like CLOV's popping a little bit. Um, Coming back, we're still down. You know, we're coming into the open right now in 2 minutes. We're down about 30 cents. Anyone who's just joining, the overall market is down big time, almost $6. The SPY's down $6 right now, so more than 1%. Hit as low as down 2% in pre-market, but starting to come back a little bit, and it drug down a lot of stocks with it. For me, I'm going to be looking at SDC this morning as a potential play. That's the first one. TMC is a little bit intriguing too. Also been looking at CRVS and APRE as potential runners today. Kind of like what I see here with APRE. Just looks like there's a lot of volume flowing into this one. So these will probably be my three main ones that I'm looking to jump in on a trade on this morning. All right, let's see here. Yeah, TMC. Oh, there we go with the bell. Let's see what happens now. Let me zoom this in. And I am going to take a look at, let's see here. There we go. CLOV starting to pop a little bit. Is this SDC lagging or is it just not moving? Oh, there we go. SDC is starting to pop up a little bit. So I was trying to get in on SDC this morning, and I don't know what's going on there. I'm not getting filled on my order right now. And we'll see what happens. All right. Dave, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, this is the 5-minute chart for CLOV, Michael. All right, looks like maybe I got filled. This is pissing me off. There we go. And then I wanted to add on to my CLOV position too. Sorry guys, I know I'm not talking right now. I just wanted to get some of my orders in this morning before it gets too late. So all right, there we go. I think I might have spent enough money now. All right, so just taking a look real quick. So CLOV is at, what do we got? 805 right now. Hit as high as 820. SDC. I'm going to turn on the 1 minute candles for these so we can kind of see what's going on here. SDC is gapped up a little bit, sitting right at VWAP. Taking a look at CLOV. Same thing. We came up and hit 820. We're trying to hold above it right now. TMC. There we go. And what else we got going on here? APRE. Christina said it took a small one on TDA for SDC and it failed. Yeah, I just grabbed some SDC. I was trying to get in, and it took like 2.5 minutes to fill my order. But I'm just trying to. I grabbed some calls here, and I'm just figuring if we can, because the IV on SDC wasn't extremely high. I mean, anything over 100% is high, but when we were looking this morning, IV was below 200%. I think it was at like 120, 140, somewhere around there, which isn't extremely bad. It's back up now. I mean, shit, it's already up to 277. So, let's see here. Bub says, will SDC continue to pump? I think so. I think I just jumped in right now. But it was trying to this morning, and then we got kind of drugged down by the overall markets. But looking at Ortex data, just so we can kind of see, what's still cooking in some of these stocks. I mean, SDC's got the most volume this morning, or relative volume. So it's got the social sentiment this morning. It's got a 48%, short interest, which is extremely high. I think it's still got some room to run. And then we even looked at the options chain on it today, and considering the float size, a lot of action there, as we cross above $7 and stay above 7, and then continues into 750 and 8. And I think it really has the potential to at least kind of, maybe push to the top of the chain. The other one that I'm kind of liking right now too, I just don't like the IV on it, is TMC. TMC's IV right now is it's actually lower. Shit, that's not actually looking that bad. IV on a TMC right now is currently, 228 for this month, but if you look out across the whole chain, much lower. Let me take a look at those real quick. Got these TMC Octobers. There we go. All right. AF Alum says bye, bye, bye. We're seeing CLOV again find that support. If we look down here on level 2, we got 20,000 sitting at 795. Almost 60,000 sitting at 790, another 43,000 at 788. I mean, there's definitely support down here. And this is something that we've continuously been seeing. When we drop down to this $8 range, there's buyers. People are looking to buy the stock. And I think that's Dan says VRPX is the only green on his list. TMC looks like it's starting to run right now too. Let me see if I can I don't know, I might stay off that one right now. Looking at Star said the market didn't even take us to dinner before it you know what? Yeah, things are looking pretty exciting. I mean, CLOV, we're kind of holding this level. Yeah, we're down 4% right now, but I would fully expect us to probably bounce back and at least get to even today. Um, TMC gap down a lot. Looks like it closed yesterday somewhere up here, and it's looking to fill that gap right now. Um, nice action there. Only one I jumped in right now was SDC. So, I mean, obviously, I still have my CLOV position, but I tried to get in here on SDC, and I think this one's got some potential to run today. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Let's see here. Stock Center says, well, we get our sevens. Yeah, we get an opportunity to buy. That's what it's all about. So we're getting close to 6:45 here. I'm going to be signing off in a second. Just want to thank everybody who came on this morning. Ghost says TMC looks like a runner with its low ass float. Absolutely. I think TMC's the one. SDC's the one I jumped into this morning. But I had TMC up here on the watch list, and I think there's definitely some potential to run there. Low float, real quick. I'll go over that one again too, since we just talked SDC. Just to again kind of look at the squeeze potential on this one. And Ortex was reporting some crazy, basically like zero short interest this morning, which has to be an error. But cost to borrow is in at 48% right now. And 99% utilization. So, and I know we looked at the option chain on TMC and SDC this morning, and definitely a lot of potential in there with that low float for, the gamma squeeze type moves that we like to see as well. So, I think both of these have a lot of run potential. I'm liking the volume on this APRE right now. This is another one that I might look to jump into if I see some sort of reversal or all of a sudden see this thing start moving. Maybe when it crosses VWAP, look for an entry point. Kind of a wide range here as well. If you look at this range right now from 472 to 672, that's $2 on a $5 stock. That's what, about 40%? In range, on a daily range on a stock. So this is another one that I'll be looking to kind of trade in and out of as well today. So I hope you guys have fun, make some money today. Hope you're enjoying the show. Before I take off, one last thing or a couple things I want to mention. Definitely go follow Ghost down below. I put the link to his YouTube channel, trying to build that thing up so that, me and him do a show every Monday night. It's called No Financial Limits. We're going to be getting on at 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 7 o'clock Eastern. We do that every Monday, right, leading up to the Monday Night Football game, talking stocks, talk about the markets. We'll probably be talking about the craziness in the markets today and last week and how everything that's affected by it. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And then we'll talk about the NFL game. Also, I put a link to Degenerate down below. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter. He does these Twitter spaces every day that he hosts. A lot of great minds on there. I mean, there's been up to 100 people in there, sometimes more. And people talking about what's happening in the markets, CLOV along with other stocks, and really educational. I mean, I feel like I'm learning so much just sitting there, just listening. So if you don't already have Twitter, go download the app before market close today and follow Degen. Yeah, I mean, that's I think I touched on everything. Also, I don't even know if Al Trades is streaming anymore, but he sporadically streams, and when he does, it's pretty damn fun to go in and watch. So if you're not following him already and you're in CLOV, you're missing out. Make sure you follow Al Trades and everybody else who's covering CLOV. But You know, that dude's been putting out videos every night about updates on CLOV and a lot of good information in there. So definitely worth checking out and following. All right, guys. Narwhal said that was a safety in the Seahawks game. Man, a lot of great football yesterday. I missed a lot of it, but I did catch up on some of it, in the afternoon. And I watched that game last night. It was insane. Ross Lowe's talking about the Steeler game. I don't know if Ghost is still in here. Let's see. All right, guys. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of fun today. Make sure you check us out. Check us out this afternoon or tonight. Me and Ghost, and should be a lot of fun. Update on our picks. Talk some fantasy, a little bit of everything else. And again, if you guys are gonna get into some of these day trades today, be safe. Have your stop losses ready. And always take profits. All right, I'll see you guys later.